Hello, welcome to OMAT. So glad you're here. Before we get started with our 8 exercises, I want to talk about triggers. I want to talk about triggers because they are influences that nudge us into a direction. And they could be negative influences, like if I see a donut, suddenly I want a donut, even though I wasn't thinking about it a minute ago. Or my phone lights up and suddenly I'm scrolling on social media. The good news is, influences, these little nudges, these triggers, they could be positive ones if I set myself up right. Like I put my Kindle on the kitchen table when I wake up and I sit down to drink my coffee. There's my book. I also always have my mat readily available so I could do my morning stretches, my plank, and all of that. And then when I still don't want to, which does happen, I remember why I'm doing this. I want to be a person who reads. I want to be a person who takes my morning routine seriously. So the more I set myself up with triggers, with the positive triggers, the less I have to use willpower. So let's trigger our OMAT routine, our OMAT program. Let's set ourselves up. See if you need to get your water, get your mat, get present, whatever you need right now as we get ready. Let's take a sip, why not? And let's get into our practice. Our first exercise of gratitude. This doesn't mean that we are naively believing that the world is just fantastic all the time, everything's going to go our way. This is working on a muscle where we can also notice not just bad things, but the good things, the things that we're really glad are there for us. Let's take some time to notice by practicing our gratitude right now. Let's wrap the exercise. And for me, it triggers taking some water and noticing that it's not that I'm trying to get this elation, this feeling of wonder and fantastic everything. It is that I'm practicing. I'm using a muscle. And if you did that, if you tried, great. Even if you didn't, let's keep going. Let's practice meditating. What we're doing now is we're interrupting our thought. Our relentless, unstoppable, seemingly unstoppable. We're going to put a pause on them for a minute, knowing that, hey, we can come back to it as soon as this minute is done. Allow yourself to be interrupted. Let's see if we can follow our breath. Sitting in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed, breathe. As we come back, let's find our water. Interrupting ourselves with some water, hydrating. And no matter how that meditation moment went, let's move on. And if something kept if a thought kept being relentlessly in our mind, I wanted to clear my mind. This thought kept coming in. Let's write this down. Write anything down. We are practicing taking it out of our mind and putting it down. So write whatever words that come to mind right now. Let's wrap for now, whether you're mid-sentence, mid-soliloquy, whatever it is. Let's take some water. Sometimes when I'm writing, I think I wrote a masterpiece, a poem, and really it's just gobbledygook, and that's fine because something got out. Something got put on that paper, and that's fine. Let's move on. Let's get it into a little bit more into our body by doing a yoga routine called the sun salutation. Let's get up if we can get up. If you can't get up, do it seated. Do it however you want. Do not push yourself. If it hurts, do less. Let's get up or stay seated. Inhale the arms out and up. Deep inhale. Continue to inhale if you can. When you think you can't inhale more, inhale a little more, and then exhale, fold forward. And we're going to hang over our feet. Our back is rounded. Our knees could be as bent as we want here. And when you're ready, let's get into a halfway lift. Flatten the back. It's parallel to the ground. Straighten out the knees and look up. Now let's meet in this high plank. Plant your palms down. Step your feet back. Once you're there, lower all the way down to the ground. Now your whole front of the body is on the floor and you're pushing your palms. Your chest will come up. Your head will come up. And we're going to meet in down dog. Hips up. We're in an upside down V here, trying to get our heels on the ground or as close to the ground as we can, again, without hurting ourselves. Now walk your feet forward towards your hands and start rolling up, meeting the palms above the head and exhaling them down to the center of the chest and holding any of the poses and skipping any of the poses and feeling the stretch, but not hurting ourselves. Let's keep going, taking the water and taking the plank in just a moment. First, we're wrapping our minds around it. I don't always want to do the plank pose, but I get myself in there by not thinking about it. What we're going to do is get into it, get in that ready pose, that ready mindset, and we're going in 3, 2, 1. Up in plank. If you're not hurting yourself, it doesn't matter that you don't feel like it. You don't want to. Maybe don't follow that thought. Follow the thought of, I'm in for 10 seconds. Look at me. I said I would do the plank and I'm in that plank pose. I'm trying, I'm working, I'm doing it. Congratulations, you're in for 20 seconds. Let's make sure we're breathing. Follow the breath. Maybe take the pain off your face. Or maybe squish up your faces. If that's what you need for 30 more seconds, then grunt all you want. Do all that you need, but find that strength in you. And that's part of this. For 20 more seconds, we're going to believe and do it. Keep that spirit up. Keep yourself up in that plank pose. We have 10 more seconds here. Can you keep going? Finding the strength, mind and body working together for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Let's come down off the plank. Maybe find a stretch pose. Find your breath. Find some water. Take time to acknowledge, hey, I didn't really feel like it, but once I was up in plank, I kept going. And it doesn't matter. Inhale the arms up. Reach back. Pat yourself on the back. You did it for however long. That's what today's plank was. Let's move on into our breaking of procrastination. I've been talking about your desktop. If your desktop is messy, here's another chance to clean just a little bit up. If every time we reach this procrastination moment, you clean one thing up, your desk, your desktop, a wipe of the bathroom sink, whatever it is, let's take this moment to take the smallest action, but take it now. Let's wrap the task for now. Find the water. And no matter how that procrastination minute is, find the water. There's always time for water. And you notice I'm not rushing. I'm not saying, hurry up, make sure you get something done. We only have 10 seconds. It doesn't matter. What we're finding is, what can I manage in this minute? And that's the information we have. We notice it. We move on into our connection minute, into our vulnerability, into actually needing to think, who can I get in touch with? Who are my friends? Who are the people that I want to reach out to? And even if that's just a thought for the next minute, then you take an action. Or maybe today it's not an action, it's figuring out, who do I get a laugh from? Who do I call when I cry? Let's look into our vulnerability by looking to connect right now. Let's wrap this thought for now, finding the water and finding that it might not always go as we wanted to. This exercise might be a little uncomfortable. We might notice that right now the only person I can get vulnerable with is my therapist. Okay, that's right now. It's just for now. We don't have to do anything about that. We can move into our aerobics. Let's shake it off. And as soon as we start shaking, we're moving. Let's keep moving. Find an exercise that you're capable of doing, and let's start it in 3, 2, 1. We're going. We're moving our bodies. Why? We can. Anything that you're capable of moving can and should be exercised. So let's do that just for this minute. You're 10 seconds in already. Making sure that you're breathing. Check on your breath. Follow your breath for a few seconds. And we're 20 seconds in. Now this entire exercise is 1 minute, so let's put some energy into it. Let's leave all the energy in this final exercise for 30 more seconds. Find it in you. And if you need to squish up the face, and if you need to grunt, if you need to sing to yourself, whatever it is, let's keep doing it for 20 seconds. As long as we're not hurting ourselves, let's find the strength. Let's see what our mind and body can do when we work it together for 10 more seconds. This is it. This is the countdown. Don't stop now if you don't have to. Let's finish up nice and strong for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Let's find that water. Great job. Let's notice some of the things were a little harder, even though they're very simple. It's not always easy. Thanks for taking OMAT today.